Good afternoon and welcome to Gridbusters. Lovely, beautiful sunny day today. We were fully charged this morning. The batteries were fully charged at 10 a.m. and so all the charge controllers have actually ramped down now because we've got too much power. It's kind of annoying really that we can't store that power till the winter, but there we go. Like I said, the batteries were fully charged at 10 a.m. this morning. We're currently using about 1 kilowatt of power in the house. However, the panels would be generating around 12 kilowatts right now if we could use that. The car is 100% charged. I have had the washing machine running through this morning. The tumble dryer was running. The dishwasher's gone through. And this is the funny thing which we find is whenever it's really sunny, this is kind of like when we put the washing machine on, the tumble dryer, the dishwasher, it's when we charge the car. So this is kind of changed the way in which we use electricity. And you know, whenever it's a sunny day, that's when we tend to do those sort of things. Before, we used to always run our dishwasher through with a timer to go through in the middle of the night when our electricity was cheaper, but of course we don't do that anymore. Same with the car. The car used to automatically charge itself during the night because our power was cheaper. However, now we've turned that off and I only charge the car manually. I literally manually turn it on when we have excess solar. Now, the cool thing is with the Tesla and any electric car you have, you can actually buy a special charger which will do all of this automatically. So Victron actually do sell a car charger which hooks into the Victron system. And then when you've got excess solar, it will then just put that into the car. So I'm actually going to order one of those and put that in the garage, and then I don't have to then manually be there with the app and thinking, oh, we've got excess solar now, and charge the car. Because what actually happened the other day, exactly this thing happened. It was really sunny like it is now, and it was about sort of 4 o'clock, I think it was, or 3:30, 4 o'clock, and I thought, oh, it's really sunny. The batteries are like 98% full. The charge controllers were ramping down, so I knew we had excess solar. So I put the car in the garage, put the car on charge at 7 kilowatts, and left it. And I went inside and had some work to do in the office and kind of forgot about it. In the meantime, a big cloud came over, blocked the sky. The solar went from 12 kilowatts down to about 2 or 3 kilowatts or something. And what actually happened was I was using the house batteries, the main battery bank, to charge the car. And then it was only in the evening at about 8 p.m. I noticed that the house batteries were at something like 45 or 40%. And I'd actually used all that power from the batteries to charge the car, which wasn't really ideal. And then we actually had to use some power from the grid in the middle of the night to tie us through till the next morning, which was kind of annoying really. So yeah, you can kind of do this manually, but with the Victron charger, we can do this automatically. So if the same thing happened, it would then stop charging the car. Obviously, you can override all of that if you need to charge the car in like an emergency or something. But this week, what I've been doing, let me just show you what we've been doing. So this week, we've been cracking on with the render on this part of the barn. So that's the section of the barn that has the solar panels, and that's the bit we put the new roof on. We've also obviously rendered all this section here. We've rendered all of this here, put a new door frame in here. We put 2 new windows in, because there weren't any windows in there before. They were just literally just window openings. And we're going to put a wooden door on here as well. This all eventually will be pointed. Haven't got time to do that right now. Might do that pointing maybe in August or September or something. And this section here needs to be pointed as well. Again, don't have time to do that. And then this section of the barn, which is the road side of the barn, Jude and I are going to be rendering that next week. So we've got a special device where we spray the render on. I might just film a little bit of it next week just to kind of show you guys. But yeah, so that's going to need 2 coats. We did a section here already. Actually, we did that in a day, which was pretty quick. So hopefully, if we work flat out, we're hoping we can get the rest of that all finished next week. Now, obviously, we do have the other side of the roof here, which we could put solar panels on. And a few of you were saying we should maybe think about putting some panels on a different roof, pointing a different direction so that we get like evening sun and so forth. So in the evening, the sun comes from over there. However, we're not quite sure how much sun this roof will get in the winter. So we're not going to put any panels on here right now, but what we are going to do is we're going to monitor the sunfall on this roof during the winter. And if it looks good, we could always put some panels here on this side of the roof just for the winter. Anyway, let me know what you think about that. Like I said, we're going to be monitoring that. The roof on the house, the back of the roof isn't really suitable. We've got skylights and things in the roof, so that isn't too good. But yeah, let us know what you think about that and the viability of it. And I think in the summer, it does get sunlight, but I just think in the winter, it might not get very much. But I don't know, maybe we'll have a look at that and we'll assess the situation later in the year. Right, so right now what I want to do is get into the plant room, and I've got a little bit of work to do in the plant room. I want to put some covers on some of the hatches. I want to change some of the cabling in there. And yeah, so let's get to work. Right, so a few little things left to do in here. To be honest, once I got the system working, I just kind of left the plant room. Everything was working, so I thought, right, that's it. I need to move on to other things. So what I want to do today is kind of like get some of this cabling sorted out. What I have actually done is, I know it's a little bit OCD, but I like to keep things matched. So I bought a load of blue network cables, which we can use, to replace these black cables and these grey cables. So I like to keep everything consistent, looks nice. And I got the exact right length. So some of these cables are sort of like 10-meter cables all coiled up behind here, which isn't great. So I've got the exact right length cables. And it was no more expensive to get blue, so why not get blue? So yeah, so I want to get that cabling kind of sorted today, and want to get these covers put back on. It's actually a real pain because when the cats come in here, and they do sometimes love to come in here because it's out of bounds. I don't know if you've got cats, but if you've got cats, you'll know this. If they're not meant to go somewhere, that's where they want to go. And of course, if they come in here, what's the first thing they do? They go in there, and then they kind of get behind the walls, and we can't get them out, and it's a nightmare. So I want to get these hatch covers on. Also want to get the cover on the fuse box, and then hopefully we should be sorted there. So the first thing I'm going to do is get this long cover on here and then get it screwed in. Right, so the first thing I've noticed is this fiber optic cable here. So this fiber optic cable here goes from my network switch to my living room in the main house, and it's quite a long way because it has to go all the way up into the attic and up and over and down, so forth, and that's why I'm using a fiber cable. Also, I tried using a normal network cable, and like an RJ45 cable, and I found that because it's such a long distance, and because there's a lot of mains cable going through the same trunking, that it would work for slow speed stuff, but if I'm trying to like stream 4K video, it just wouldn't work. And I've been having so many problems with the network trying to stream 4K video, and it just doesn't work if you've got interference from other mains cables which are laying alongside the network cable. So that is why I switched to fiber optic, and ever since I've done that, there has been literally no problems at all. Obviously I had to upgrade all my equipment, but yeah, it just made all the difference. So I installed this a few months ago to see if it would work, and just left the fiber cable rolled up here in the trunking, and it's just, coming out here. Really, it should be coming out through the hole here. So that's the first job we've got to do. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is remove this access panel which I put in. I also have a hole going through this wall here, which goes through into the other side into the kitchen, which is actually behind the plasterboard, but I can actually fish things up through a cupboard using a pull string. It's really difficult, but it can be done. So first thing I'm going to do is just get this network cable through here. Can you see that? Yes, I think you can just about see that. Right. So there it is. So that just comes out here to there. Boom. Okay, so now we have everything clear there. I'm just going to grab one of the covers and we can put that on. So this one's got a notch out of it, which I think was for these switches. So we'll give that a go. And oh. Hopefully that's going to fit. Oh, that doesn't look right. Why would I have a notch cut out of it? That's very odd. That doesn't even seem like the right depth. Oh, okay, so this, okay, right. So this goes over in this corner. Okay, so what I should have done with these is I should have numbered them. Or put marks on them so I remembered which end went where. I'm probably going to have to cut new screw holes now, which isn't great. But I think actually I got it right. Yeah, so that's fine. Right, so I'm going to just put some screws in there. I'm not going to put a ton of screws in this because I probably need to take it off again soon. Okay, so I think that one lines up pretty good. Yep, happy with that. Oh, some of that MDF is blown out there, which is not great. I think I might replace these panels eventually with plywood because some of the MDF is split at the edges, just where it's been taken on and off multiple times. There we go. Right, so just got this corner piece to put in. There we go, happy with that. Right, so we've got the fuse box here, got to get the cover on. Now this fuse box, the bane of my life, for some reason the cover would never screw on properly. The electrician was battling with it for an hour trying to get this damn cover on, and we got it on eventually. And obviously I had to take it off again to put some extra things in it, which was a real pain. So you'll have to bear with me whilst I try to get this on. Right, well, I've got the cover on. Okay, so let's put these screws in here. There we go. So I've got all the circuits here numbered. What I need to do now is print out a key here which says like number 1 is the upstairs plug sockets, number 2 is the washing machine, etc. So haven't done that yet. So that's still one thing that's left. Now this plant room gets, when everything's going, when we're generating a lot of solar and we're actually using the power, so let's say we're generating 12 kilowatts from the panels and we're actually using 12 kilowatts, that might be using the 12 kilowatts to charge the house batteries, it might be using the 12 kilowatts to charge the Tesla and run the washing machine or the tumble dryer at the same time. When we're in a situation like that, this room gets really hot, like 30 degrees. So yeah, and it's summer, but it's not mega hot at the moment. We're only in the low 20s at the moment. So I've got a little bit worried, what's going to happen when we have a heat wave. I'm not sure if we're going to have a heat wave this year, to be honest, but we did last year, and we did the year before, it got up to 40. And I'm thinking, in a situation like that, this room is going to get too hot, and it could be a real problem. So what I've actually done is, since it's been rubbish weather here, I've ordered an air conditioner because, if you live in a country where it's not normally hot, and then there's a heat wave, you can't buy an air conditioner, they're just sold out. So very similar to when there was a power cut here we had the 1 week power cut last year. And Dave and I went to the rental store to try and rent an air conditioner, and they just literally laughed at us. And we went to all the stores, and everywhere had sold out of, we went to the store to try and rent a generator, and then we went to all the other stores to try and purchase a generator, and everywhere had sold out. And they literally laughed at us when we said we wanted to buy one or rent one, because the whole country had sold out, basically. And the same thing happens when there's a heat wave. The whole country sells out of air conditioners, you can't hire one or anything. So the best time to buy one is in the winter or when there's a cold spell. So there was a cold spell a couple of weeks ago, and I ordered an air conditioner. Now that air conditioner arrives next week. Now it's not a permanent, I would like to get a mini split installed in here, a permanent air conditioner. But before I do that, what I've done is I've just ordered a portable, it's only about 500 or 600 euros, but it's a portable air conditioner on wheels. I had a very, very similar one years ago in my old house, and I actually gave it to my mother because we were having a mega heat wave and it was really, really hot in her house, and she's quite old now. So I decided to give it to my mum so that she wouldn't be too hot in the evening in her bedroom. So she uses that now. So I've bought another one of those for this room, and if it really works incredibly well, I will then keep that air conditioner to use in one of our in our guest house or our house or whatever, and I'm going to install a mini split air conditioner on the wall up here and put the compressor on the other side of the wall there. But as kind of like a test, to test the water, I thought I would just buy a portable air conditioner, stick the hose out the window, if it's really hot, or I'll make like a wooden bracket which will slot into where the window opening is, and then the hose will just go through the window just to use in those emergency situations where it gets really hot. So if you're designing a solar system and you have a plant room like this, you probably, it's worth considering or factoring in to the cost, a little bit of money, a few hundred euros, a few $100 for some sort of air conditioner to keep everything cool in those extreme circumstances. Because if we had one of those mega heat waves, then we could lose power, which is crazy if we were using too much power. So that's not good. There we go. Or even in the winter, I mean, in the winter, we're going to be using a lot of power. We're going to be using 10, 15 kilowatts of power. And obviously if we have lots of sunny days, we'll be generating that power from solar. So potentially this room could get really, really hot, even in the winter. So maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll need it in the winter. I really don't know. But I've got a thermometer in here, and it did hit 30 the other day in here. At the moment, I've just got the window open because I was just feeling a bit hot. Let me just see how hot it is. I don't think it is that hot. Actually, this thermometer has just been by the window. But yeah, so it's 25 in here right now. So not that hot, but yeah, so it's just something to consider. Right, so the next thing we're going to do, so we've got that sorted, we've got the panels all on, which is great. Let's change over those network cables. Right, well, I'm going to start changing out these cables. You probably don't want to sit here and watch me do that, so let's go to a time lapse. Final thing which I need to do in here is a general tidy up. It's an absolute tip in here. I'll do that off camera. So I'm going to take everything out of this room. I'm going to vacuum it, mop it, and then we're kind of sorted in here. Right, so sorry, a little bit of a boring video today, I know, but it's just all these little finishing touches which I just put off and put off and put off. It's crazy. In the next video, what I want to do is go through some stats. So a bunch of you have been asking me like, how much has the whole system cost? So what I'll do is I'll do like a breakdown of all the equipment, the surprising costs, things I didn't think about, how much it's cost me to install it. So things like, because I ended up having to replace the roof on the barn, things like this. But then also how much electricity we're actually generating with the system. And then we're going to also look at the electricity bills from this time last year versus this year. So we've only got like 2 or 3 months of bills because we've only had the system commissioned for a few months. But we'll break that all down. Dave, my husband, has put it all into like an Excel sheet with like a bar chart and everything, so we can see how many kilowatt hours we're using per day last year versus this year. Because we are still pulling some power from the grid, on those cloudy days, or like I explained earlier with the car, when I charged the car by accident and used all the power in the batteries, and then we ended up having to use some of the power from the grid during the night. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Keep those comments coming. Really appreciate your feedback. Also, if you've got any questions or anything about the system, things you'd like me to cover in the next video when I talk about costs and everything, please do include those questions in the comments of this video. Okay guys, I'm going to leave it there, and I'll catch you next time.